this regular, predictable income stream, predictable sales. Just in the middle of the pandemic through the world, and people who suddenly were able to switch to make hand sanitizers or plastic protection, very broad look at different categories and types of business so that you can get the idea of how to value businesses in certain categories. Let's go over to high value and let's try and see if we can see what characteristics are there within a high value business. Liquor, it never seems to stop. In the pandemic, sales went up, but it's always been expensive to buy a liquor store on the basis of you can be sure people are going to turn up and buy their liquor, just like you can be sure they're going to turn up to the supermarket and buy their food. And that's why supermarkets down here as well. It's proven to be probably the hardiest and most resilient of all the businesses that we've seen through the pandemic. They never closed. People would go and panic buy, and no matter what's on the shelf, people were just buying long-lasting products. I mean, they could store at home just in case they couldn't get out and shop. IT, again, a massive range of style of business within IT, but one I can think of is managed services. Look at the strong part of Amazon. It's not just selling online, it's their Amazon Web Service, but there's a lot of other companies like that are providing managed services to businesses as they grow, as they build their infrastructure by either moving to the cloud or getting more sophisticated equipment. IT and all facets of it is strong. So real estate property management, let me just come back to this real estate sales here. The difference in multiple, it's about 5 or 6 times income, and that one is 0.2 of income, top line income. So you can see that the difference in the two, and we'll talk about this when we come to the key factors of business growth, is that this is ongoing income. There are clients in place that tend to send you a check every month. And similarly with the brokerage, I'm talking about insurance brokerage, mortgage brokerage, financial planner to a lesser extent in the financial services side of things. But certainly the two brokerages that I've mentioned benefit from the fact that the clients are regularly sending them a check. So if that insurance broker signs you up for more insurance this year, they're getting a check. All they need to do is to renew the policy. With mortgage broking, as soon as you've secured the loan with the bank and the customer stays with the bank, you get a check, monthly check from the bank. And we've seen that brokerage relies on, is attached to the real estate industry, which has not suffered at all in this pandemic. Now there are two other categories that I want to put in, and they're not actual industries, but have a look at them. You're low value if you're COVID affected. And you're high value if you're not COVID affected. Let's go down the list. COVID, growth in sales, growth in services, growth hasn't lost. So with the other features, these just happen to be also businesses that are insured against a pandemic by virtue of their business model, what they sell and who they sell to. Look over here. These were closed. These were closed. There was lockdown. Depends on what you were in. Maybe some contracting companies increased, but a lot of them didn't, because here you have companies making decisions. Will I build? Will I refurbish? What will I do? The contractors are the first to suffer because they just say, look, I'm not going to sign the contract. So you're left waiting. You've got no insurance. Hospitality, closed down massive, especially CBD. CBD used to be the jewel in the crown of hospitality. Now it's the poor cousin to suburban, which is growing because people are at home. Homemaker, a boost initially, but it's not going to go on forever. But it probably could go into the middle column as far as where it sits in the multiple range for profit. has done well, but still that won't pick up and suddenly become a 3 or 4 times multiple profit business because of the nature of the business. And publishing, again, online. We've got to talk about between online and offline. So, but there's a whole range of businesses that just fit into this category up here that maybe aren't even mentioned here. The question is, apply all the normal rules of assessing risk in a business, and then your final question is, if we have another pandemic, if we have another lockdown, how will my business be affected? And you can see there are certain categories here that you would go for, maybe increasing the multiple here, and there are certain businesses here that just may not sell. So there you have it. We've had a look at all the different businesses across the categories. We've looked at low value, high value, in the middle. And this is very arbitrary. I've said a good business over here in this industry could end up having high value, but it has to do everything right. You could still have a hair salon that's got a high multiple if there's staff in place, long established, great location, terrific rent, and the staff are all on contracts to stay for 5 years. What more do you want? Just come in and collect the money. I'm just talking about what generally prevails in businesses generally in the market now. So if you're a business buyer, you know the questions you need to start asking, and we'll have a look at the upcoming video exactly what those questions are. What's going to make this business more valuable? What do I have to do to it when I buy it to make it more valuable? And can I do that? And if you're selling a business, what things do you need to do to your business now to put them into these higher categories? Because it doesn't matter if you're not in that higher category, you can take your business from here or here and end up in this higher category. It's all about the decisions you make and the understanding of those factors that affect business value. We'll see you in a video soon.